But what I mean is, chicken broth is for you. I don't want to eat it all up if
I
that's one
don't.
of the
I don't care.
limited things you can eat. Because look what I did with the fucking loaves of bread and the butter and the peanut butter. You even bought a bigger, fatter jar of peanut butter, and it still took about the same length of time to get to the bottom, where I'm now shaving the plastic.
So
You know,
now I've bought an even bigger one.
yeah. No wonder I'm getting fat. It's like, okay. I was thinking about the channel, and I think what I will do is I'll either have, like, I guess sometimes it'll be me alone, sometimes it'll be me and you.
Oh, me and my ball head.
Yeah. And
Did you just point the camera at me?
and then probably get like Derek or God, it would be great if I could get Jeremy on Zoom.
No.
That would be wonderful. It'd be like fucking Bobo.
No. No. No.
And then boy Matthew Orwat sure wanted to.
Oh. He would be like Bobo.
Yeah. Ugh. Oof. Hmm. Ugh. Anyway, like I posted a video of a record, but that's not gonna make anybody fucking jump for joy. I'm thinking what I need to do is set up like a little corner of the room in there where I do this, and I got a record player if I want to do that. I got to figure out how to, like, if I want somebody to call and join in, or um, do a Zoom with like goddamn Jeremy or John Tufteller or Derek or whoever. I'll just have different people on. I got 1,600 fucking people in that auction. I'll just start asking people to.
FaceTime me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I could do that, and then just God, that's like old time. You know what it's like? It's like when President Kennedy got killed, and they got a phone in their ear,
And they got a
and
phone in
then
each
they got a
ear.
phone in each. Yeah, yeah, and then they can't hear it on camera, so they got to repeat it. That would be fucking wonderful. We can have like a big horn thing that, like a speaker apparatus that. Oh wait, it's got a speaker. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm thinking 1890s technology. Um, well, yeah. So I guess we could talk about sex and like the different people in the groups in the fucking 78 community and how fucked up they are, and if I'm having some kind of fucking thing where they're bashing me or I'm bashing them or somebody blocked me. Whole shit load of shit. We can talk about politics, fucking
How about the fact that you just don't shut up?
pandemic. The more lyrica I take, the more we can squeeze into like a 15 minutes or 20 minutes or
What do you
half
mean?
hour.
3 hours of you talking
I got to do something. I can't sleep. I'm constantly stressed out. You go to bed like,
at
you
a
know,
normal time?
you take your pills and go to bed, and I'm like up till 4:30 in the morning. Least I can do is make a fucking video. Maybe some people in the fucking whatever so-called 78 community watch it, or maybe I don't know. There's got to be a way around the fact that I'm not in the fans group, and I had access to like 6,000 people in that group. Probably 4,000 of them are dead. You know, if we're being honest, that's like the auction. The auction says 1,600 members. Probably 500 are me.
What?
I mean, fake profiles and shit that I made up originally.
What?
There's a whole lot of gray fucking. Instead of the picture, the little gray head
Oh.
cut out. Yeah. No, I don't know. But,
No. I'm going to get chicken broth.
oh, I thought it was something else. Okay, well, anyway, I hope that was. I don't hope anything. I'll I'll uh I'll just do videos like this. I really don't. I won't always be laying in bed though. It'll probably be all over my house, and either the rats or the cats or records, or maybe I'll get somebody on the horn, as they say, in the background, and then we'll put that in there. I don't know. This is an iPhone. The way I got this set up, so I could get pissed off and walk out of the house and like walk up the street and still do the fucking show. Wouldn't that be fucking wonderful? Anyway, and then once I get the Zoom thing figured out, we could have like interviews and shit. It'd be really cool. Uh, the wonderful thing if I had my army of Quimbyites or whatever that I used to have. I used to just put it out there that I'd like certain things to happen in the fans group, and then just spontaneously within like 10 minutes, all kinds of weird posts would be posted in the fans group by different people with all kinds of code words and inside jokes and references we only get. And then after a while, they'd put a stop to it. I want to get back to the old shenanigans. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, some people tried their best to get me to calm down and, fly right and use the salad fork for the salad and not stab people at the table and fucking, I don't know. Anybody ever seen Freaks? You ever see the part where they're all sitting at the table and they all start acting crazy and dancing and shit? I love that fucking scene. Goddamn Freaks. Anyway, I like the Pinheads. I want to get a big poster of the Pinheads and put it on my wall. Is Schlitzie? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most famous.
I love the little blonde midget German guy. He's like a little Adolf Hitler. He's lovely. Love him. Anyway, I'm sure you'll tell me how I said anyway about 30 fucking times. Somebody asked me earlier today if me and John Tefteller are cool. As far as I know, we are. I know I had some weird shit going on last November, December, but that's almost a year ago. Some people let shit shake off and you can get over it and stuff. Some people you can't, and they never forget what you said or what you did, even if it was only, like a 21-minute video. But I know I certainly did try to work it out with them, and as far as I know, we're cool. He said he's busy. He can't really, interact as much. He's getting the calendar done. And I do advise all you guys really to, he's not like a paid advertiser, but I will advertise for John because his fucking blues calendar, the Blues Images Challenger. Oh shit, that's the fucking space shuttle that exploded. No, his Blues Images calendar is so fucking cool. I can't really see it because of my blindness, but and then the CD that comes with it, it's like really clean, crisp. They sound like they're fucking. Sounds like an old Johnny Carson interview from the 80s or something like that, clear. Uh, no, I should have said something more recent. Anyway, for some reason I was thinking about Don Rickles on Johnny Carson, and Burt Reynolds. Anyway, um, anywho, I'll go ahead and shut this off, and when I have something to actually do or say, uh, I'll do another video. It'll be more, along the lines of talking about the blues, pre-war blues, 1920s blues. Maybe what I should let people know don't know me all that well. When I was a little kid, I went in a thrift store back in late 80s, early 90s. They had a whole bunch of the records on the shelf. Back then, though, it wasn't fucking Andy Williams and Barbra Streisand LPs. It was mostly 78 records, and books of 78 records are a big stack of them. If you don't know what a 78 record is, you're a fucking idiot. The 10-inch records that are a little bit thicker, they break when you drop them, and usually see them at, well, you used to see them at flea markets and shit, but I think a lot of people use them for skeet or, like throwing them in dumpsters and laughing about when they break. I do. I started collecting the 78s when I was like, I don't know, early 1990s, around the time my wife was born. just before when my wife was born, I was going to the thrift store with my father and selecting Memphis Mini records. You could actually find that shit at the thrift store. First blues record I ever had was Doc Clayton, I think. Dr. Clayton, Screaming, no. Cheating and Lying Blues, where he talks about, I'm going to murder my baby because she's been, sleeping around and shit. I think he even mentions Hitler in the song. It's on Bluebird label. Anyway, I got that about maybe a year later at the same store. They had a Memphis Mini on Columbia, Killer Diller, which is it's a red Columbia, but it's a fantastic fucking song. I know it's like not rare blues, but it's good blues, which is probably more important anyway. Then I got a bunch of Conqueror labels when I was maybe about 15, 16. And the weird fucking thing was, for the first 5 years I was collecting all these, I didn't even have a record player that had 78 RPM speed. So they just were like, I had to look at them and kind of wonder what the fuck they sounded like. There was no internet, so I couldn't like look them up. There was no YouTube. So a person back then would have had to probably go to the library, check out some of their blues collections on LP and check them out of the library and hope that some of that shit was on there from 78. And I think the first time I actually had like a blues collection, I was at a flea market and there was a guy that I used to buy records from. He never had shit but like Journey and Gary Glitter and shit like Boston and Styx. Anyway, he's like, hey, you record man. He's like, come over here. I got a box of records you might like. And they were all on OK label, and it was stuff like Sippy Wallace, Mamie Smith, Lonnie Johnson. I think it was Lonesome Ghost Blues by Lonnie Johnson on OK. Clarence Williams and his band on OK.
Do you want some of this?
Yeah. Bessie Smith. There was a Bessie Smith on a Flag Columbia, Graveyard Dream Blues or something like that. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I got a bigger cup because I knew you wanted some.
Oh my god, why is this so good?
I love chicken bouillon.
Thank you. So anyway, so I guess there was probably about 20 records in there. And I said, well, how much do you want? And he said, I don't know, man. What'd he give me? I said, I got, I felt in my one pocket. My one pocket had a shitload of ones and fives, and the other pocket had 20. But I wanted the record, so for once, I didn't say, I don't know, let me look at these ones and fives. I went to the other pocket, and I said, I'll give you $20 for it, man. It looks like cool shit. And he's like, okay, good. He was happy to have the $20. I said, where'd you get them from? He said, oh, I was working in a basement in downtown St. Louis, and they had them. And probably 100 other records were destroyed by water damage or were cracked. These were the ones that weren't cracked or have water damage. I was like, okay. So he was, he got $20 basically for driving to the flea market, at least off of that one box. So he was happy. And I didn't know who the fuck Sippy Wallace was, but one was like going up the country or something like that. And I'm like, is that the same as I'm going up the country, where do you want to go? Which I knew from like the 60s hippie music. Canned Heat, I think, or somebody. No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's really good, but otherwise I'm gonna have to piss like 5 times.
All right.
More than usual. And I got those home, and I did have a record player, and I played all of them, and I like the Lonnie Johnson probably the best, and the Bessie Smith, and I like Sippy Wallace. I don't remember what the fuck it was. Probably also in there was Norfolk Jubilee Quartet or whatever. I can't remember what to call. A bunch of black guys singing, kind of like a barbershop quartet, but not so gay. So I think it was Jelly Roll Blues. My Jelly Roll. Do, 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 do. I don't know. I'm not doing it justice, but it's not like it's the best fucking song either. So, there's a long way around the barn to say that I started back then. Probably the next thing that happened, I met some evil bitch, moved in with her. One day we went to a place called Euclid Records, used to be down on Big Bend, and they were having a clearance sale. And I never had any money because I was an out-of-work motherfucker all the time, never had the jobs, and terrible work history. And I looked on the clearance shelf. They had some records. I bought a CD that had it was like a compilation disc, had Blind Lemon Jefferson and Charlie Patton on it. First time I ever heard of either one of them. Had no fucking clue who they were. And took that, and then they had some DVD that she picked up, and she's like, here, you'd like this bullshit. And she showed me the Crumb cover, and it had like one of Crumb's women on the front with the big legs and the fucking, his, anyway, it said Crumb, had a picture of Crumb looking like a fucking douche on the front, like he's irritated with the whole prospect of the movie, which is a bunch of bullshit. Are you still holding that up, or am I?
Yes.
And when I heard the Crumb, we watched the Crumb movie that night. Well, I did, that's right. She had me buy the movie for like $3. It was on clearance. She didn't want to watch it, so I went in the other room and watched it alone. And about halfway through, she's like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm like, it's all about record collecting. I said, I got some of these records downstairs I've had since I was a kid. And I saw you had a whole fucking shelf, and I got all jealous. And then he pulled out, it wasn't, they dubbed it because it wasn't the same record he pulled out, but playing Geeshie Wiley's Last Kind Word Blues. And it was kind of like that scene in Ghost World where she plays the record she got from Seymour, and she hears Skip James' "Devil Got My Woman," and it's like she just keeps playing it over and over and over, and it's like opens her into a whole nother, except I didn't have a bathrobe on and I'm not a chick. It was a lot like that scene. And after that, I thought it would be easy because I knew some back then St. Louis actually had some record stores. And I thought, oh, I'll probably find this. I'll just call the guy up and he'll probably say, oh yeah, I got it. Because a lot of times back in the 80s, you'd have to call a radio station and say, hey, you know that song you just played? And it's like, do, 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 do. You have to hum it to them, sing it to them, and they'd be like, oh yeah. And they give you the title and that, and then you'd be like, oh, thanks, and then you hang up. That's how you'd find out what a song was that they just played. That was the only way to do that. You have to talk to the DJ off the air. But I also would call record stores and ask them if they had something. They'd usually know right off the bat if they had it. Because that was the next step, was to go call the record store and see if they had a cassette or a tape or whatever. We didn't even have CDs yet.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Can you shut off the light when you leave so I can go to sleep?
I can shut off the light now. I can do this in the dark, or I can go in the other room. I love you. I'll be back.
Alright.
What'd you do with the chicken broth?
I finished it.
Holy fuck.
You didn't want any more.
Okay, hold on. I gotta turn the light off. There's 3 of them.
The one you were hitting was the right one.
Yeah, my eyes see double, so I was going in between. Oops. All right, babe, I'll be back.
Alright.
Oh, well. There's no love tonight. So anyway, I called the record store up, and he's like, no, I've never even heard of that, but he said, I got a shitload of 78s. He said, nobody ever wants to look at them. Oh, I think it was a record exchange. There's a record exchange down on, it's still there, down on Southampton and Eichelberger in St. Louis. And he's like, no, I got a whole shitload of 78s. It's probably in there. But I didn't realize that guy didn't know shit about 78s. He's a 45s and LP guy. He likes Ricky Nelson and shit, So I went down there, and I probably went through about 4,000 78s over the next week, going through everything he had. Of course I didn't find Geeshie Wiley. I did find a lot of cool shit that I didn't know what it was, but it looked cool. A lot of stuff that said blues in the title, some of which ended up being more like jazz or, jump blues. But I picked up a couple of cool things and some Louis Armstrong on OK. So in the process, I found some other shit to listen to. The next thing I did was I called John Tefteller. This would have been probably about 2003, 2004. And I asked him, and he told me right off the bat, yeah, you're not going to find Geeshie Wiley. You're wasting your fucking time, basically. He's got a copy. He's got a copy. Russell Shore's got a copy. And I actually, ironically, ended up doing a sleeve with artwork on it for Russ Shore for his version, his copy of Geeshie Wiley's Last Kind Words Blues. Is it Last Kind Words or is it Last Kind Word Blues? I don't know. The next thing I did after he told me, basically, I've been hunting these records for no good reason, because I ain't gonna find the fucking record. But I already had a nice little stack going of 78s. And I'm like, well, I'm going to keep doing this. And I was talking to somebody else later that week about it, and they said, you know where I always see 78s is you got to go to estate sales. So I started going to estate sales, and I did that probably for about 8 or 10 years. Never found much of anything. Found a lot of Louis Armstrong. Found a lot of Conqueror label, like Fiddlin' Doc Roberts. I loved him. So I just kind of built up that, and then occasionally I'd see an oddball one, or I'd see a Vocalion label with a weird name on it, and I'd get it. So like, got a couple of Uncle Dave Makins before I knew what the fuck he was. Got a Lulu Jackson doing one of the earliest versions of Careless Love on guitar. So I had some cool records for what it was, but I wasn't, doing anything serious. And then I would say around maybe 2009, I joined Facebook. And one of the first things I did was join as many 78 record collecting groups I could find. I didn't know any of the people in there. I did see John Tefteller's name in there. And I was like, oh, that's the guy I called about the record. I didn't know anybody. Nobody knew me. I joined something on something called 78C right before that. So I knew some people from there. I really can't describe what 78C was, some kind of collecting group. You'd get emails, it was something on the internet, but I would get